Okay, we got 6:32. Call the meeting to order.
Okay. So moved.
Can I get an approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes. Rob, there's just the one set of minutes for you and I that one day.
Okay.
Okay, I've
Oh,
gone
yes.
through it. I don't see anything.
Okay, as long as you went through it, I did not.
Yeah. Would you like to just put it to the next time? So you can go through it? It's the meeting Monday, August 26th.
Yeah, our last one, right?
Yeah. We can,
I'm comfortable with.
why don't we just push it out to the next?
You want to push it out next week?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
because
And
there's
I will
something
do.
in there about the vacation time and
Oh,
everything in
okay,
there,
good.
so let's just
Absolutely.
make sure.
Yep, I will read it.
You read
Yeah.
it, okay? So we're going to move the approval of the minutes to our next meeting. Board of Liquor Controls, Peggy?
Yes. I want to start with the renewals. First, you have CL Hospitality Corporation, which is the Cascades Lodge, a renewal of their first and third class liquor license.
So we got a first and a third.
First and a third.
Okay, motion, Rob, to approve the town clerk to move forward.
Yeah, can someone just describe what a first and a third is?
Chris can do it the best.
So your first class license is to sell beer or wine,
Okay.
and your third class is to sell liquor.
Anything, okay, liquor as well. Okay.
And we just give the authority to the town clerk
Okay.
to go to Division
do.
of Liquor.
They basically
Okay.
do the entire application process. Basically, the only reason we would deny it is if we had some major problem that was beyond.
Okay,
So
okay,
we're
so
just
unusual.
gonna make, we would normally, one would make a motion for the town clerk to move forward.
Yep, so I've been in this process before, I just didn't know the first and the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. So, motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, another renewal is the Killington Restaurants outside consumption limited permit at the Pico Base Lodge. It's for the Killington Annual Brew Fest on September 21.
The only thing I'm looking at, the renewal application doesn't have a check mark there.
Correct. I spoke to Sophia, and she said in the past they had to apply for it differently under a sampling permit.
Oh, okay.
And now she was told by Martin, it's got to be put in this way, outside
Okay.
consumption limited permit.
So we're just making a motion for the
Motion.
town clerks to
Okay,
move forward.
that's fine.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, last but not least, we have Yama Ramen applying for the first time their third class license. You have a first
class, yes.
Lulu's here if you have any questions. So they've never had a third class.
It's, once again, it's just, we're putting it in the hands of the town clerk's office to move forward with it.
Motion.
They do it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good.
I've also learned, like, even if we say no, then it goes to them.
Thanks, Lulu.
There you go. That's where the
Okay.
power is.
So, public work updates, I'm just gonna hand it over to Abby here.
Yeah, so I'll let Kevin start with the road updates.
So, August 6th, we had a meeting with residents on Thunder and Brook, which we're gonna mark trees to be removed still. We got some hay mats to install in a few areas, some more seed mulch that did not take. And then, we gotta add some soil, gravel back to one of the edges of the driveway is what we came up for conclusions there to wrap up the Thunder and Brook project.
Good.
Winterberry, we did get a estimate from Pike to reclaim the quarter mile of road there because how rough it is. Or alternatively, we could do, at the highway department, we could pull up pavement ourselves with the excavator, haul it out, and then smooth out the road, which we obviously wouldn't be paving it right off. And we would have to do some exploring there to figure out what's actually causing that road to break up so bad. Which also depends on availability of funding and whatnot. So we're looking for your guys' consent to remove the pavement.
That's a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, first of all, Have we spoken to the residents? of the-
No, that we have not yet.
So I think that needs to be contacted first to get their opinion of what they would like to see. And then secondly, what did we have for cost to have it ground right now?
So reclaim for Pike was $16,210.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is that you're telling us that we could reclaim it and repave it, but we don't know what's causing it to break up.
Well, that's why we want to pull up the pavements, that way we can see whether it's boulders, ledge, or what that's causing it to actually raise right up.
Are there any under drains in it?
I don't believe so.
I wouldn't think there would be either, because
Yeah.
the road was built by a developer.
Right.
So to me, I'm sure it's just not a quality road.
Yeah,
And trying to pave a road like that, you're always gonna have that kind of problem with water.
Yeah.
Especially the amount of water that comes off of that.
there's a lot on both sides of that
So-
road.
I think it would be probably worthwhile for us to look at just having it ground up, but, or we could estimate the time involved for us to actually pull it up and regrade it.
This is one of those things that is a town road.
Yes.
But,
It was supposed to be underneath the watch of a select board to make sure that it was built properly or whatever.
well, but there's a lot of roads that were not.
Time. Yeah,
When that was built in the 80s, I
Yeah.
doubt we were requiring under drains.
yeah.
So,
So, and that is one road that the residents actually have complained about.
Yeah, we
When are you
get a
gonna
lot
do
of
something about
complaints.
this
so
road,
could we just
basically?
like ask, how many residents do we have out there roughly?
Winterberry?
I'm not sure on full-time. I think there's probably only 3 or 4
Doesn't matter
full-time.
about full-time.
Yeah, but Winterberry's, winter's coming.
Yeah, right.
So I just think that we should notify them if we could, and let them weigh in on it. They're the ones that have to travel it all the time, and you guys have to maintain it. So
Yep.
to me, it just makes sense. Let's just have an open conversation with them and figure out what the best solution is right now, given the fact that, we don't not have that in a cycle to be taken care of.
Yep.
The $16,210 to reclaim, how long of a fix do you think that will,
Well, I mean, that would make it so we could actually grade it.
but how long do you think that
They
will?
would just grind it and Bomag it and leave it right down.
Right,
So
Yeah,
it's
and
basically
then-
either Pike takes the pavement away, that's an estimate.
or
from
reclaim it.
Highway crew.
Yeah.
But then we can see what's going on.
You have the 16,200 in your budget?
We could take it from the paving fund, but it's not really.
Would that be paving or gravel resurfacing?
Well, we're not, yeah.
That's why I'm
This
asking.
is
It's kind of,
mainly just
you know-
to strike up a conversation on it,
Okay.
to see what
Okay.
we should do.
So the conversation is gonna go, thank you for advising us. I think Chris is saying go speak to the neighborhood over there.
Yep,
And then we're having another meeting in 2 weeks. So if you can come back with that information from them, that input, as far as Public Works and the foreman.
yep,
And then also see if you would be able to get the reclaim underneath something in the budget, if that will work, and then we'll have to plan from there. So let's push that.
I think it'd also be worthwhile for you to estimate what it would cost us
right.
Time and materials.
Time, yep,
to do it, and then on top of that, how it would fit into your current workload. I don't want to do something and then all of a sudden, something else falls apart,
yep,
so.
With the under drain, if you're gonna do it. Okay?
yep.
Well, then, I don't know, we couldn't do under drain this year, it's impossible.
No, not
But we
this,
could-
this year
Make
it
it so we
wouldn't
can plow
happen.
We can make it so we can plow it for one. Two, we could also, the under drain, we would do before we'd ever resurf pave it again.
Okay?
Yep.
That give you direction, Kev?
Yep.
Okay.
Jim,
What?
I think we got somebody waiting.
Everybody is in.
I don't know why it popped up.
Whit's just there, that's all.
Oh, okay.
So then, we finished up everything on Alpine Drive, all ditch work. We replaced some culverts there that were interfering and stuff with stormwater and stuff as well. There's a driveway culvert at 13 Alpine Terrace that's 80 feet long. Craig actually sent one of his members, full-time members over to help us flush out that culvert. Took 6,000 gallons of water to actually get that culvert flushed out because it being just so long. Then the length of the culvert prohibits stormwater from entering the drainage ditch as well. So we're looking at possibly shortening that culvert to the standard length of 20 to 30 feet. Pending your guys' consent and notification to the homeowner.
I guess we would have to look at it
Yeah.
on a visual basis to really make more, I would
Is that the
anyway.
recommendation?
Yeah, I mean, so this is be more of driveway permits were given out to individuals, and Chris, this is where you and I, like, for the last couple of years, like, nobody's really maintaining their driveway permits, and
Right.
there's nothing in place to, and it's clogging. So if you guys could come in with a recommendation, we would have to be doing it on our own, right? That we're not gonna go tell them that they're taking out an 80-foot whatever.
Right.
This is in the town's right of way, I believe?
Yep.
Okay. So can you come, I mean, how wide is the driveway? I don't think the driveway is 80 feet wide.
Oh, it is.
This really boils down to more like it's interfering with our stormwater,
Right,
and we have the right to maintain that. I mean,
okay.
there's no point in having a culvert there if we're just, like either just,
I mean, most of our
So-
driveway permits are only 20 feet.
Is there a permit on the driveway?
it is probably, it's like grandfathered in.
Okay,
It's been there for so long.
that's okay, as it should be. But I think it's be something that should looked at with a homeowner at the same time period and discussed, okay? Is it an undersized culvert?
It's 18-inch, it's not undersized
Yeah.
per
Okay.
se. It's more the length of anything because of where it is. It goes from a hill, then it's flat.
Mm-hmm. And when was the last time it was ever serviced? Nobody knows.
I mean, but it's just gonna
Until
clog up
we did
again.
it, probably never.
So, just trying to keep
Why
the
will it
roads
clog
from
up
washing out.
again? Just-
Because it can't drain off, it's basically level.
'Cause
So-
it's our sand that's getting in there, and
Yep.
there's just not enough flow to keep it
Okay.
pushed out.
I think we should just have a talk with the landowner.
Yep.
You know, and just, that way, before we do anything, discuss what the problem is and, so they're aware of it.
Go in with your recommendations of 20 or 30-foot culvert, and what it would look like on their property,
Yep.
and then get back to us after you have the conversation with them.
Yep. Not a problem. Some Tanglewood, Rocky Ridge, we've been doing ditch work on those. The ditch work's basically complete, got a couple more loads of ditch stone to put in. But that'll be completely done probably tomorrow, which that's all part of the grants and aid for fiscal year '23 that the town was awarded. Archie Baker Bridge and Valley View Beaver Dam. Daniels Construction completed work at both sites on July 24th. The Vermont Wetlands Ecologist has closed out violations at both locations, bringing both project areas back into completion with Vermont wetlands rules. Roadside mowing, Jay and Jeff pretty much have finished all that up. It's just a matter of they're going back around just a few areas. The access road they redid. They're working on redoing River Road right now, possibly East Mountain Road again. And then we're waiting for the access road to open up before they mow West Hill, just because of all the traffic. Grading, we're gonna be starting fall grading here shortly on all the class 3 roads. And then certain class 4 roads, we have Craig Mosier doing for us with his grader, because ours is too big for the class 4s. Road line striping of all roads not involved in construction is complete. Radar signs, I already dig safed all the locations. We're getting the post hole digger on Thursday, so that way we can install those on Thursday. the posts for them at least. Then the garage, fire alarm system, the control panel, and other items were defective in it and need replacement. Quotes have been obtained from Royal Group and Tasco Security. Tasco's quote would require changing monitoring services to them, and they aren't currently a vendor with the town, where Royal Group is.
And we're only talking about $300 in difference?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Tasco sucks too, so I wouldn't.
You're being recorded.
Just telling you.
So, I guess my question would be, why do we have to have it alarmed?
I think it's just Vermont codes, possibly. I'm not exactly sure on
I think
that.
it's come back to us in the state that it was in, or is still. But why would it need to be alarmed if it's not being utilized for anything? And why would we, if it's basically nothing more than a storage facility?
Oh, no, this is the town garage.
Yeah, this.
Oh, the garage.
Yeah,
This
this is,
is the small fire's the garage.
no, this is town garage.
Oh,
We don't own that.
never mind.
Yeah.
We have a quote.
We already know this. We need.
I took this as
That's
a
the
little
whole
garage,
carbon
fire station.
monoxide and all that other
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Every-
I took it as the garage fire station.
Yeah,
Not
no.
the,
So,
Yeah.
like I said, it's, they're both 6,000, one is 650 and one is 973. We don't
Yeah.
have to change any going over to, so
yep,
get a motion to approve.
yeah. Motion to go with Royal Group.
All in favor?
Aye.
So what I got is that Thundering Brook Road, you're still working on whatever, but
Just a few.
It's
the
quieted
day-
down up there.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just a day long of just cleaning up.
But it's quieted down up there from the last time.
Yeah.
Winterberry Road and Alpine Road, you're coming back to us on with recommendations or whatever, after talking to the neighbors. Tanglewood, Archie Baker, the rest of them are all checked off.
Yep.
Okay.
So then flood recovery, finally working through some roadblocks with FEMA. We're starting to get site inspections. We have 4 sites tomorrow that will be inspected, which is something we need to happen before we can start developing the projects with them for the final, for the permanent work. So they'll be looking at the Little Sherburne area and the East Mountain Road culverts, the 2 that we awarded to Craig. And then hopefully they'll continue and finish up all the other site inspections so we can get all of those written up. We did get notice from the state that there's a shortfall in federal disaster relief, in the Federal Disaster Relief Fund, which I provided you all with an email from Kim Kanaraki from the state about that. Basically what that means is we're not going to see funding for the permanent, for the Cat C, the permanent improvements for a bit until the congressional delegation replenishes that fund. So we can continue going forward and doing improvements, but we're gonna have to carry those costs for who knows how long.
And this is where you sent an email out back in May, I believe.
So, yeah, in May or June, we got another email from the state, which I had shared with Michael, that we can, if we borrow money to pay for these costs, FEMA will reimburse us
Okay.
for those costs that are eligible under FEMA.
Are
There's-
these costs guaranteed that we're going to get reimbursed for them?
There's never a guarantee.
I know.
They say they say 80%.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is like, we've had this before, oh, you're covered, you're covered, you're covered, and, oh, no, now we're not covered. How far along in the process are we with them with these?
So Cat C, so East Mountain Road, all of Craig's work, replacing those culverts and like the paving, we still need to develop those projects with FEMA. It's basically, you go forth and you do the work, and then you develop the projects, and then FEMA will ideally approve everything. We do know there is some additional work that we went ahead and did to prevent future disasters, that FEMA's not,
Yep.
probably not going to cover, so we know we're going to have to carry some of those costs. So we have the East Mountain Road, Craig's work, and then the 2 culverts. I think that's it for Cat C that we've kind of just gone forth with. A lot of the other stuff, we've kind of held off because I've been working through these roadblocks with FEMA and getting the site inspections first.
So you'll probably know more tomorrow.
I'll know more on those 4 tomorrow.
You'll
People
know
I'm meeting
more
with
on
tomorrow,
4.
the people I'm meeting with tomorrow are not the same people that will help me develop the projects.
Okay.
So it's about $3 million worth of work between
So-
what we started doing back.
Yeah, we have 2.2 million that we're currently carrying on our general fund, and another roughly 900,000 between the paving that just happened and the 2 culverts that Craig will do. And so we should look at getting some interim financing.
Why don't we
until
look at
FEMA
getting
comes
interim
through.
financing, since, one way or the other, if, rather than us shoulder this right now, okay, which we're doing, okay? Why, we have a chance that if we get the financing in place and pull the money, that they agree to these projects, they're gonna pay for the interest,
Right.
not us,
So we just started the conversations with Community Bank
okay?
within the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I've been on the phone with bond counsel, Thomas Maloney, and we're setting up a meeting, I believe, with, is Lucretia back in on Wednesday? Tomorrow. So I'm including the town treasurer, Abby, finance director, the bank, along with Thomas Maloney, and possibly Michael Gaunt from the bond bank also. So they'll work through everything to get through and find from there, but that is the discussion, to have separate loans, and one of them would be for this 3.1,
It would be a
3.2.
loan, not a bond, correct?
It would be some sort of interim financing.
Fine, okay.
That's something we
It
have
could
to.
be a
So there would be no
bond
penalty for
anticipation.
paying it off early, right, so I think that's what we should look at
Yeah.
doing.
That makes
And
sense.
then after that, they gotta come back with the other work and work through with FEMA. I mean, we need to take care of the roads, so, and this stuff up there was the 3.1 is the major section of the
No, I
road.
know.
So you just follow up through that there.
Great.
Abby.
I did also give you sort of a list, an update of all the projects, and went through it with Kevin, and just the work that's completed and what we feel still needs to be done. A number of things are still in engineering. Any of the stream crossings, basically, are still being engineered. So those are kind of on hold until we know what FEMA's going to do for us.
Next one you got up is a 75,000 local economic recovery grant and MRGP.
Yeah, so we received a $75,000 local economic impact grant from the state. It's from the Budget Adjustment Act, and it's basically, we got the money because we had a flood. So I would like to, and I need the board's okay on this, to use those funds to address road erosion issues around town. There are only 2 stipulations to this money. We can't use it for anything that is public assistance related, so anything that's flood recovery on the roads, we can't use it for that. And we have to keep the records for as long as we do the rest of the flood recovery records. So because we're getting the money, because we were flooded, I'd like to use it to help prevent, address road erosion issues and prevent.
So the state's giving us 75 grand, it's sitting in the fund right now, but we can't use it in the area that was, they want us to use it elsewhere to
Or preventative.
prevent future.
They don't have any stipulations on what we can
Right.
or can't use it for, other than we can't use it for.
In
the
that
flood
area.
Okay, that area,
That's
gotcha,
the,
okay.
just those 2 stipulations.
And does it have to be used by a certain time?
No, they didn't, just the 2, I'm telling, it's so vague. I tried so hard to find more information, and those are the only 2
Just ask.
stipulations.
I think that's great
Yeah.
that it's vague.
That's good, yeah.
Is this really, this is it?
Bank it.
In your opinion, to where you would point it would be preventative?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we address. And so I provided you with a list of our, it's our MGP road erosion list, and I just provided you with the very high, and it's quite the list of areas that we need to address, stormwater issues. It would go a long way.
So you need a motion from the board to approve spending the $75,000 outside of the flood zone area with you and the road foreman's recommendations.
I don't think, we're not really approving it to be spent if we don't have a project.
Right.
Well, it would probably be the highway department that does it, so a
Yeah.
lot of like what they did out on Thundering Brook Road and Alpine Drive and Tanglewood and Rocky Ridge, that kind of work, ditches, crowns on roads.
Surface gravel.
Replacing
Well, motion to
culverts
move
that are
forward with the
damaged.
spending of the $75,000 on roads that have been.
But you're gonna document how that 75 was spent.
Yes, they document it on their time
You
sheet.
have to.
No problem.
Okay, yeah,
It's
no
fine.
problem. yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Makes sense. Motion, yeah, motion move forward.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Transfer station, is this you, Jay?
Well, Abby's gonna take the lead on this one.
Okay.
Jay's questions. So there are two things, bulky days, requesting that it be the last weekend in October instead of the first weekend in November, just due to
So-
staffing concerns. And
I will be on vacation the first weekend in November, so I will not be there. If nobody has a problem with it and they want to keep it in November, that's fine with me, I just won't be present.
So we never really control the date that bulky weekend is, so go for it.
But no, it's just typically the first weekend.
It's always the first.
It's usually the first full weekend in November.
Yeah.
But, so I told Abby if they wanted me to be there, we could do it the last weekend in October. Or,
That also went with the renewal of the permit cards?
so permits are due now, the end of October, and bulky day is usually the first weekend in November, so. By the time you get the permits, it's like you only have a month to sell them before bulky comes, so you have to have somebody at the gate paying them overtime every year to basically check and sell permits.
Right.
So if we move that permit to the end of the year, which will coincide with the Rutland County Solid Waste District permit also, then that allows me time to sell permits from December to May before we have another bulky day. And that would eliminate that person sitting out at the gate, so we wouldn't have that cost of paying the person overtime too.
So that's just a recommendation from the transfer station, which is you,
Yes.
and it's run underneath the every day, whatever. And you're just looking for us to nod?
Well, if we.
I don't think we need to make a motion on this, that would be getting into,
So we
we're
just-
good with it.
Yeah, so.
I'm good with it, you good with it, Rob? Chris, you
Yeah,
good with it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll
I
just
just
have
think we need to
just
mark
gotta
it ahead, that's all, because.
Right,
gotta
we'll just have
communicate
it on the
it,
website, and I'll post it at the
There
transfer
you go.
station,
Yeah.
and I'll tell everybody that.
Jay's doing a good job down there, he's got his
Permits will be-
chalkboard, he lets everybody know what's going on, weeks in advance, and,
So I'll tell everybody permits will be valid to the end of the year.
I would
And I'll
guess
start. I'll
it
start-
probably had something to do with seasonal rentals back.
It did years ago, I think, yes.
I mean, seasonal rentals aren't what they used to be, so probably the permit and the bulky day should not be what it used to be. Would be my
Makes
guess.
sense.
Great.
next up,
So I just had a couple of more things on my Public Works report. Will has been working on hazard mitigation grant program pre-applications, and I think actually, Will, you submitted those today, didn't you?
Everything's in.
So, and those are for, it's a project for a culvert near Skyship, culverts that carry homestretch stream, just in case FEMA doesn't come through, culverts that carry the Rim Road stream, again, in case FEMA doesn't come through, and then elevating a section of River Road near that very large Beaver Dam and Wolf Hill. Under TIF, we got bids for contract 4 on August 15th. SUR Construction west of Winchester, New Hampshire was the apparent low bidder at 6.96 million. The Dufresne Group has reviewed that, and they got back to me today, and they're recommending that we award them the contract. So the next step would actually be that Don Haddix at the state reviews it before an award is made.
and then it will come back to us for approval.
Right.
What was the name of the company?
SUR Construction West. Dufresne Group actually noted that they have experience working with them on other projects as well.
They just do water, and that's, they're not a road, and it seemed like the two lowest bids were just water. Bidders, SUR was the lowest, and the next lowest was,
If I can read it, it's so tiny. Zaluz,
Zelinski or whatever.
yeah, something
Yeah, and
like
they
that.
just do water lines, the two of them, that's all they do. So we'll wait for that to come back. Markowski pay request. Once again, this is something that it falls underneath the Public Works, so can you go through with the pay request, how it comes in from?
They're typically emailed in to us, the engineer reviews them, again, just like the Casella project, they get reviewed by the engineer, and then they recommend that we sign off on them. The only difference is there's not another review at the state level, because this is being paid for from, with the bond bank.
With SRF. Okay, so make a
That's been
motion.
approved already?
We have a pay request that came in last week, the engineer is reviewing it now, so I would anticipate sometime this week it will come through for the town to approve
Okay, so,
and pay.
So it's underneath Public Works, so make a motion for Abby to be signing off on Public Works for TIF.
yeah, just as long as it fits.
Well, it has to be approved
Yeah,
by the
approved, yeah.
engineering,
Yep.
it has to be, it's
Yep.
fully funded by, and if it goes over the bids, then it's coming into us for a change anyway.
Right,
Yeah,
change
right.
orders.
Yep, no problem.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think there's one that we missed up here, the
Yeah, we missed a couple.
NESG FOA Board,
So,
United States Government.
when I applied for this job, I was involved with the New England States Government Finance Officers Association, and it was one thing I wanted to continue doing. And that was the agreement that I could continue doing it. The town pays me for my time if I have to go to conferences, which there are 2 a year. But I pay for the registration, mileage, hotels, all of that. That's out of my expense, membership. It's my expense. But I just wanted to make you all aware of it, because Rob wasn't here when I started, and now with Michael being gone too, just to remind you all, and also because there is a conference in 2 weeks coming up. It's like the start of our new year, and I'll become president of the NESGFOA.
Nice. Congratulations.
It's going to be a little bit more work than it was in the prior year, because I'll be planning the conference that will be in Vermont next year.
Can you just give us a rundown of what they do?
It's primarily trainings for finance officers. So this is the New England states, so it is all New England states finance officers coming together for trainings, networking. Banks are there. I'm on the board with Michael Gahn from the Bond Bank and Angela Altieri from the city of Winooski. Sarah Macy from St. Albans City will be helping us plan the conference. So it's a good networking.
Sounds worthwhile.
You all benefit from it?
Exactly.
Macy is the
We get a lower
finance
rate?
director at St.
No.
Albans.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Work on
And she's
that.
actually giving, Sarah Macy is the finance manager, Chris, at St. Albans, but she's also running government finance class that starts tomorrow at UVM from every Tuesday till right around the middle of December at
Okay.
1 o'clock to 4:30, which our Mary Ellen has signed up for that.
Oh, nice, okay, oh, that's good.
So, okay, so,
connection,
Sarah
too.
Macy's like, talk to her
Clearly-
about
clearly knows
Excel
what she's doing.
spreadsheets. Talk to her about Excel spreadsheets, and she is like, God.
Hearts.
Okay, what else did we miss on here?
The Municipal Mitigation Better Roads Grant for FY '25 for the road erosion inventory. This is actually what I came to you all at the last meeting for, to submit the letter of intent. It was like approved the next day. Now we have the grant agreement, so I just need authorization to
This is that
sign.
15-page agreement?
Yeah.
So it's 15 pages. Can you run through what it's about, how much, and?
We'll update our road erosion inventory, which is due, I have all of those in front of me. I think it's due by October 31st, 2027. We need to do it by then. We should have been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years, but Killington is behind on, like, updating it as we make improvements, but Killington's behind, so this will get us up to date and know better.
So it's like an
Railroads
$8,000 grant? if I read the first
How much
page?
cash do we get? Let's just.
So this is one that we'll need to budget for next year, the match,
The match is
2,000.
2,000 out of 10.
And we would probably contract out
What
with
would you like,
this.
a motion to accept it?
Motion, yeah, to accept and for me to sign it.
Yep.
And a motion to accept it and for Abby as Public Works to sign it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else on here? So now the last one is driveway permits. So Will, that's you, right?
It is me. I have 3 driveway permits here and working on with folks across town. I'll just go through them.
You can sit down. See one off, and just do one at a time, and then.
Yeah, we'll just go through one at a time. This first one is a driveway that's connecting to East Mountain Road on the property 3593 East Mountain Road. It's a driveway that is going to be connected to a person's personal garage that they would like to have constructed. All 3 of these are fairly straightforward. Not a ton of stuff in there. I have the conditions here that I can show you guys for conditions to be built. We've gotten approval from our foreman and from our fire chief that the driveway is allowed to be built to these conditions.
You have the conditions, you know what they are.
Yeah, the conditions are in there. There's a couple things I'll highlight for the conditions. There's a 15-inch or 18-inch culvert that's in there that might seem a little undersized, but the driveway is not actually sitting in any ditch or any ditches, so there's no real need for the culvert to be a 25-inch, which is our general size that we would have a culvert on East Mountain Road. And there's 15 feet of pavement because East Mountain Road is a paved driveway, so the driveway has to be constructed with 15 feet of pavement before it is encroaching onto the town road.
Do we get sketches of these for file?
Yes, they are on file in the town.
Good.
Usually the town manager.
Well, it's just nice so that like the situation we had down on Thundering Brook, we know where the culvert is supposed to be within the right of way or not, and then we can call that if it's something wrong. So,
Yeah, part of their application is they have to submit their plans with the proposed driveway where it's going to be laid out and stuff. All I'm looking for on this is just a signature by the select board to approve this driveway here.
Get a motion to approve the driveway for, you have the person's name?
Mark Silva.
Mark Silver's driveway permit for the garage.
Yep,
All in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
Patrick Cushion, you have your hand up?
I do had a question about something Abby brought up, if you have a minute. But if you want to finish this.
Let's
I can
finish
wait.
this
Yeah, let's
first.
finish this, okay.
Wonderful.
So the next one?
The next one is, it is on 81 East Lane. It is a driveway for Mr. Elliot Bradford. Again, conditions are here. We had a little bit of trouble just figuring out where the driveway was going to be located in the property, but we worked with our road foreman to come up with a list of terms. They are not going to install a culvert in this driveway because we have a town cross culvert that is just going to be too close to that driveway for them to put in a second culvert where it would just start interfering with the driveway.
So we're just giving a driveway permit.
Yeah, so we're just
Okay,
giving a
good.
driveway permit.
Great, yeah.
Motion to approve?
All in
Second.
favor? Aye.
And the last driveway I have, before I will get out of your gentleman's hair, is Wyatt and Krista Mosier driveway. It is actually not something that we have drafted conditions for. It's not something that the town is too involved in, only because this driveway is connecting to a existing driveway. This is mainly for land use records that we are going to keep in the town office to make sure that we have this on file, just in case anything happens with that.
Yep. Motion to approve?
Second, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
The one that's going on East Mountain Road, there is for paving of the first 15 to 20 feet?
Yes.
We're going to read.
15 feet of paving before it actually enters onto the town road.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Go ahead,
Great,
Patrick.
thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yes, well, first, congratulations, Abby, for getting that position of the president of the
I don't know if
group.
they announced it
I
yet.
just had a question.
Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah,
happened
you announced
yet.
it.
They have to vote
I
me
just had
in.
a question. Yeah, oh, okay. Well, on your hopeful appointment to that position, on the town paying for your hours there, is it just while you're at the conference, or is it now setting up the conference, planning it, all that new things that will come with the position?
Yeah, it's all of that. So there will be some visits to the site. It's going to be held at JPEAK, the conference, in 2025. So there'll be some visits to the site, a couple of meetings, which are virtual. And then there are NES GFOA board meetings, about 6 of them, throughout the year. which are,
I think you
What would
get
be your
back into
estimated
I
time?
think you get back into the bit here that Abby is a salaried employee. So Abby's not putting in for any overtime after she works the 40 hours in a week.
I still have to do
Patrick?
my job.
She still has to do her job, and she'll put in her 40 hours to get her job done, but there will be times where she'll be on the road doing something, just like any other directors do it sometimes or whatever. I mean, so you're not gonna be seeing
Right,
overtime.
I was wondering about the time commitment.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Is it a few hours a year, or is it like, you know, before this conference, the whole month you're doing that?
The whole month? No. I mean, it's a few days here and there.
I mean, I think the board will look at it, the people's names that you just mentioned, just in case nobody here knows, Michael Gahn is the bond bank, okay? He approves all of the SRF funding that we just got for the water line. He approved the loan for Route 4 to Anthony Way. I mean, these are people that, you know, we need contact with, so. If she's got to put in 10 hours of her time, I don't think Abby's going to come into work on a Monday or a Tuesday and put aside her public works work to do and sit in town hall preparing for a meeting. She might do it a little bit later on, after her hours,
No, I think we're good
you
with it.
know, so.
All right.
okay.
Oh, thank you.
Financial reports, the town comparatives for July. All I did here, guys, was put together it's the first month. You could just go through it. We do not have the treasurer's report. Lucretia's been on vacation, so she's gonna come in and do it the next time coming around for July. I mean, you can go through it quickly, but town financials, if we look at it, it's really 1 month's worth of data for July, the first month.
Yeah,
You know,
not much goes on.
nothing really stands out here at this point. We start getting into the 6th month, 7th month, that's where it's gonna start showing up or whatever. So we're gonna get a motion to accept the
Yeah,
town.
motion to
comparative.
accept.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then I believe we have the golf course report also attached to this here.
Are they here with us?
Is the golf course, they're not here once we know we keep on asking for them, Chris. And I don't know if we printed that one off. We'll push that out. I don't see that one here.
Green fees fell.
Oh, you got that, okay. The green fees for July.
20, yeah. July went from 127,000 down to 14. Then special greens come in, I don't know,
I think they mixed that up, Chris.
Okay.
We keep on going into that. What is the difference between special greens and,
I mean, the actual greens revenue was increased by $30,000, so.
right, so it's a matter of where the golf course
Yeah, it
puts
just looks a
into,
little off, that's all.
you know?
But there wasn't anything with special greens fees before, so maybe that's why, I'm not sure.
There was some in the past, here we go.
Okay.
There was some on the past. I mean, I'm taking a look, this is July, so I'm taking a look, and this is their first month also, but when I look at total revenues, 291,000 for the first, compared to last year's 231,
Yeah, it's up good. Yeah.
you
You know,
know, so they're there.
the profit's good.
And then I
Yeah.
go down to the expense line or whatever, and I see they're doing okay there, and the
Yeah.
profit compared to, once again, it's just,
I was just
First month.
All I was trying to do was just
Yeah.
see why.
we keep on asking them what special is, and,
Nope.
you know, motion to accept the golf course comparable for July.
Motion to accept.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Interim town manager update. Been speaking with Tom Yenowerl, who was with Springfield for 8 years as a town manager. He just finished up, I think, last year, 7 or 8 months at Woodstock.
Oh.
Ran the, with Dominic Cloud from St. Albans in a group. He ran the hiring of the new town manager there.
Okay.
He's been with Thetford.
I think he filled in at Thetford,
He filled in at Thetford for an interim.
I believe.
Yeah, and then he was also, like I said, Woodstock. He was with Springfield and one other location. I have at the back of the package for us, which will go into executive session for the contract for the 7 or 8 months. So we can do that there. So, just for the towns folks to know, we've been going through VLCT, and we are looking to hire on this one person that is available to start on September 3rd as an interim town manager. The contract has been drawn up by Kevin Brown to go through the request. There's nothing in there that is out of the question or whatever. And the town will go through a process that Tom will run. It will either be through VLCT or the same way that Woodstock just hired theirs on. And I think that was run with Dominic Cloud from St. Albans, including VLCT. We're gonna let the interim come in and run the position through and get it out to a marketing plan nationwide to see what we can come up with, so. But we'll be going into executive session just to run through the contract stuff or whatever.
Okay.
All right. So we're down to number 8, which is public input. So I'm gonna look into the audience and see, starting from the riches on the left, do you have any public input? Yeah. Debbie? No one behind you? Jay, Mona? Everybody else here, nothing? Anybody in the Zoom area that has public input? Not seeing any hand up. I know, like, big news in town is, I guess the other night there was a truck that backed up over by ski country, okay? And when the tow truck took the pickup truck out, the hitch caught one of our culverts. And Mr. Geeter placed it on Facebook and wants to know who's paying for it. So, Whit, are you still here?
I am, yes, I am.
Can you run us through what policy and how we handle these things so the townspeople can understand what happens here and what you've done as the police officer or the chief?
Sure, it was not reported to the police, but I was able to track down the tow company that removed it, got the operator's information, contacted them today to provide me the insurance contact information. So it's the responsibility of the operator and their insurance to pay for any damage done to town property, or any other property for that matter.
And it's a town culvert.
It's the main culvert that comes
Right.
across the road.
Okay, good.
So one section's gonna have to be replaced. Kevin, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure there is an ordinance in place. The ordinance was set or the policy was set.
Yes, they did
Decades
save
ago.
on any damage to property.
And you
property damage.
and you
so-
did contact the person?
Yes, I spoke with them this afternoon. They called me back and we spoke.
Okay, so if anybody's reading Facebook and wants to know who's paying for it, police chief has it under control.
And there was not a fatality. There was some rumors going around there was a fatality involved with that, so I'm not sure how that got going, but.
Well, the poster put on there, first casualty of the new Killington
This is a
Road.
culvert.
It was just a culvert.
The culvert was the casualty.
So,
yeah.
all right, but, I mean, that's how things go. We don't really read Facebook as boards. It came to my attention from somebody, and I try to stay away from that stuff. It could drive you crazy. Other than that, we're gonna have a motion to go into executive session for personnel or contract
I
for a
have one
town
thing
manager.
first.
Sure, go ahead.
Walkway lights between, call it Liquid Art and the bakery
Okay,
are not working.
they're out.
They're out. So I don't know who handles that now, Peter or?
Peter has been, so Abby, can you hand that over to Peter?
Might have
It's a timer.
already taken care of it, like I thought I saw him, but I'll check with him.
Just verify with Peter.
Thanks.
Usually it's been a timer that, did we ever lock up those boxes? You might want to check that, Kevin, as a
Yeah, I'll
road
have to
foreman.
check.
There's some timers around that I don't think, when they were always going out, when you and I kept on asking all the time.
If they're unlocked, I'll adjust it.
Well, other people-
Too early, you see, pulled over, yeah.
So just check and maybe lock them or whatever if they, I'm hoping they're locked by now. That was 2 years ago that we found out.
And I know we're faced right now with, obviously, lack of town manager, whatever, but we did, in speaking with the voters in the beginning of the year, we did speak about, talking about school district stuff.
Correct.
And we should probably get that back onto the, in focus
And that
once.
was one of the things that Michael, before he put in his resignation like a month ago, said, gave it back to me to do.
That's not your
Lyle
job.
Lyle Jepson
Mhm.
is on the AOE board, and he's gonna start
Okay.
setting something up.
Yeah.
And then
just
we'll
so-
get this new town manager to start talking back
that's all.
to them.
Great.
All right? So can I get a motion to go in executive session
Yeah.
to go review a
Motion to move.
contract?
Perfect.
Okay, we're out of executive session at 7:33. Can I get
so-
a motion?
Yep, so I would like to make a motion to extend employment for interim town manager to Tom Yennerl, as per the contract.
Get a second, Chris.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tom says he's in favor of the contract, but, we're gonna send it off to him tomorrow morning, and then get his signature, and then it will come back and the town will sign it. He will start on September 3rd, as long as everything goes with the signature. All right? Any questions from the audience?
What is his last name?
Yanelli, I believe.
Yanelli?
Yanelli.
I
Oh,
butchered
it's
it, yeah.
Yanelli?
We'll ask him for the right pronunciation, but it's Yennelli.
We probably all butchered it.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, there's an I in there?
At the end,
Oh,
right? At the end, I believe there's an I.
oh.
On the Zoom, folks, is there any questions? Patrick, Rob, Whit, Kurt?
No I on this.
All good here.
Now,
I thought there was an I.
general.
Oh, at the end?
Yannerl.
Yannerl.
Yannerl. Okay.
You said it right.
Motion?
What I? Dear God. Yeah, motion to adjourn?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:35.